win today?
Yeah, obviously poorly. We didn't play well enough on either side of the ball early in the game. They built a big lead. We didn't respond. But it's, they did what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to win Game 5. Whether they win by 1 or win by 30, they won Game 5. It's our turn to go back to LA, go home, take care of our home court, and make this a 7-game series.
Frank, you tried a lot of different lineups in that first half, especially the second quarter. What were you seeing that wasn't coming from a rhythm standpoint or making shots or whatever it was, especially in that second quarter?
Yeah, we're struggling to shoot the ball. Our shooters got to figure it out. We got to continue to work on our execution offensively to see the ball go in the basket. And we didn't defend well enough in the first half. So it was both sides of the ball. So we were looking for a spark with some of the other guys.
Frank, how do you think you respond emotionally to a game like that? There haven't been many in which it's been that big of a margin that early. What are you expecting there?
Yeah, well, we'll find out. We'll find out what we're made of, and we'll find out how bad we want this.
Dave?
Frank, LeBron played all but 17 seconds of the third quarter with the margin already pretty big. What was the idea there? Just to try to get something working, or was it?
Yeah, we got to find our guys. Have our guys. Try to find a rhythm. That's what when you're down by a huge margin like that in the third quarter. You try to find something that works. Nothing worked in the first half. So that's what that was about.
Bill?
Hey, Frank, 2 questions. One, was AD particularly close, after he went through his pregame stuff? And then 2, you guys made it through the playoff run last year without facing an elimination game at any point. What gives you confidence here that you guys will have the answer to battle back into these circumstances?
Yeah, well, we got a good team. We got to do the best we can over the next 48 hours to get a little more healthy. Really working, with our treatments to get some of our guys back and remain confident in the depth that we have. We built a deep team to withstand some of the injuries, and we got to take care of our home court. As far as Anthony is concerned, he went out and moved around. I don't know exactly how close he was, but he wasn't able to go.
Kyle?
Frank, given what you guys have kind of been through with your injuries and other setbacks this season, are you surprised that you're kind of reaching this point in the season? It seems like urgency and resilience are a little bit short in a game like this.
Well, you got to credit the Suns. They're playing terrific basketball. The second best record in the NBA. They're a really good team. Okay, we have to be on our game, and we weren't on either side of the ball tonight. So our guys fought, competed, but didn't execute on either side of the ball nearly well enough. We have to get back to the drawing board, watch the tape, see ways we can get better, and put together a plan to win Game 6.
Last 2 questions. Dan?
Hey, Frank, 2 kind of quick ones for you. LeBron was pretty visibly frustrated in the fourth quarter, I think headed back to the locker room with about 6 minutes to go. Was everything all right with that? And then I guess secondly, how do you guys get Dennis back on track? And what do you think is causing some of the issues he's having? Obviously 0 for 9 tonight.
Well, in terms of Bron going in the back, Bron had to start his treatment. It doesn't do any good for him to sit over there, without getting worked on or beginning the treatment as soon as possible to help him get ready for Game 6. We have to be creative and find ways to get Dennis going. He's a hell of a player. It's been huge for us all year. Struggled a couple games in this series, but we've got to put this one behind us and see if we can find be a little more creative and find ways to get him going. Because when he's going, we're a hell of a team. He had a tough night.
Last question, Mark Medina.
Hey, Frank, how do you think LeBron handled trying to thread the needle of, being aggressive and getting his shot and trying to get others involved?
I thought he found a perfect balance. He's trying to score, and he was finding people for open shots all night long. While he was in there, we got to knock down shots. You know what I mean? It's a make or miss league, and we're just not shooting the ball really well right now. But I thought he had a good balance of looking to attack the score and looking to create for others.
Thanks, Coach.
Anything else? Okay.
In Game 5, they're now down 3-2 in the series. They were embarrassed. There's really no other way to say it. And you also got to give the Suns credit. They were ready for this moment, and they delivered in front of their home crowd. And if you're the Lakers, you look, it's the worst shooting night since 2010, 34.3%.
Yes, and you're right, Geeter. You do have to give Phoenix credit. Number 2 team in the league, best record. 6 in defense in the league. Lakers are number 1. Phoenix is 6, and they played pretty good on the road as well. So you give them their credit. The Lakers, this reminds me of, like, I had a game like this. They call it the Boston Massacre.
Yeah.
But it was game 1. And, you might expect, some jitters or some inconsistency in a game 1. But after that, adjustments are made. You have to fight. The Lakers had won 2 games. Going back to Phoenix, they knew what they had to do, even without AD. And it just didn't seem like they were on a string together. The first 5 minutes, they hit some shots. Game was tied. But after that, the Phoenix just came with a wave of offense and defense. And the Lakers they didn't respond. They kept doing the same thing over and over. The rim, had a lid on it, it seemed like tonight, because they got shots, but they just didn't fall. And so, like Rob said, they got to try to get ready for the next game and make the proper adjustments needed.
This game was god awful, and when you have a game like this in the playoffs, it can test your manhood. It can test who you are as a team, and I think this is one of those games that the Lakers needed. I think it's a game where they got smacked in the face. And hopefully it's one of those games that'll wake them up, because sometimes you watch the Lakers play, they don't play with a sense of urgency. They sit back, they let the game come to them instead of just taking it. If you look at the way the Phoenix Suns played, they wanted the game. They went out and took the game. They were in attack mode. And Lakers were like, okay, let's run our offense really slowly. And that's not what Phoenix Suns was doing. They were running their offense very fast. And when they played with that consistency of speed, they're a dangerous team. That's why they're one of the best teams in the NBA. And they only have 4 turnovers, so that lets you know that they was precise, they were attacking, and the Lakers had no answer for them.
What kind of makeup do you need? I mean, this is a team with championship experience and a lot of rings. What kind of makeup do you need in that locker room to not point fingers and to stay together, not get fractured, and not be broken, and bounce back?
Well, there's got to be a meeting of the minds. I mean, after a game like this, this might be the worst game I've ever seen in a Laker history. But they got to talk. They got to have some conversation. And whatever has taken place, I don't know whether it's just a lack of playing time or AD out or whatever. But whatever has taken place that has gotten them off track, they got to find a way to kind of get it prepared for one game. They got to lay all these, I don't know what's going on, to have Schroeder not scoring any points. He didn't look like himself at all tonight. I know Pope was a little injured, gave it all he could, but I just didn't see any type of resistance, not even in the second half. Just doing the same thing, and Phoenix just kept punking them and kept going at them as if they were like, I don't know, it looked like the Washington Generals tonight.
Yeah, they did. I saw it from the get-go too, Rob. I mean, passing up shots, seemed to me. You trying to be too unselfish? Didn't want to take them? Is that a lack of confidence?
When you to me, it's not a lack of confidence. It's just trying to be sure. Mm-hmm. And sometimes when you're trying to be sure, you make mistakes. Is this a shot? Do I have room to take this shot? Am I open? And at the end of the day, it's a simple game. You just play basketball. You move it. You take shots. You can't be afraid to take shots. I don't care if you're on the road, it's a game 7, or you're at home, it's a game 7, or game 5 like tonight. You take shots and you put the other team on notice, like, yo, it's not gonna be easy tonight. I'm going at you just like you're going to me. Because if you watch the way Devin Booker played this game, I haven't seen him this aggressive in all of the games. He came out, put the team on his back, had like 4 and 1s, in the first half. And that lets you know he's in attack mode. And the Lakers got to follow suit. They got to be in attack mode. We talk about going downhill, going north and south, you know, get at them, get in the heart of their defense, because if you can get in the heart of their defense, they're soft.
I do want to talk about the second quarter. You're seeing that right there, that graphic, second quarter meltdown. James, you mentioned one of the worst games you've seen in Laker playoff history. That quarter is the worst. I mean, no field goals until 4 minutes and 21 seconds left in the second quarter. Not one. It was on a THT putback after a missed free throw. At one point, it was 23-1 in favor of the Suns. It ended up 32-10 in favor of the Suns. 12% from the field, 5 turnovers, 0 for 6 from 3. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on.
Yeah, and no player being absent, I don't care how great he is, going to cause me to, you know, hang my head and come out with a performance like that. I don't know what was going on, but that second quarter was, it was bad. It was bad as if, you know, Suns were just pounding them, and they just like, we quit. You know, we can't resist. And so I don't know. I'm interested to hear what's going on in some of the players' mind, but to be, you know, ramrodded like that and just run over,
yeah,
that was really interesting to watch with no resistance. I would have loved to see Tucker and Trez, you know, guys who've been playing all year long, you know, when you needed that energy. But we'll see what the adjustments they make. There's just not a lot to say about this game. It was ugly. It was really ugly.
You know, Rob, we've talked a lot about the droughts throughout the year. I mean, yes, this team was 21-6, and then the injuries hit. We know that. And during that time, for the rest of the season, we're talking half the season, more than half, there were droughts. We talked about it every night on these shows, and it's carried over. And in that second quarter, it's ball game, just like third quarter on Sunday.
You know, the droughts